Top 10 cards you're going to want to find yourself picking up for April 2022. I've got a lot of these lists, but this is the one that's the oldest. Let's dig on into this, shall we? I'm like 30% of you guys have not smashed the crap out of that subscribe button. Smash it so we can get into 105,000. Top 10 cards. Number one on our list here is World Gears of Thrugical Demurugi. I probably butchered that, but it's 3 level 5 or higher monsters to make it, and you're automatically probably going, what? What in the world is this? Well, cannot be used as link material. The link summon of this card is unaffected by other monster effects. You can use each of the following effects of the World Gears of Thrugical once per turn. During the main phase, if you control this card that was link summoned using 3 monsters that had different types and attributes, you can destroy all the cards on the field. If your opponent special summons a monster from the extra deck, except during damage step, you can special summon a World Legacy monster from your deck. That effect isn't relevant, but this is Thurion support, ladies and gentlemen. A Monster House Link 3. If you're planning on playing that deck, I'd make sure you have 1 copy of this on standby, just so you're not caught with your pants down. They're literally like 50 cents plus shipping as I'm making this video. Next up on our list here is Diffusion. Now, I'm mainly throwing this in here because this is one of those more like hilarious options that you have against Albaz. Literally, Albaz is on our front door. He's going, knock, knock, mofo. And, well, being able to defuse some of those big dragons and, you know, kind of, oh, you made that card through shuffling the materials back into the deck. Oh, that'd be a real shame if, you know, I could successfully resolve this and force your dragon to break apart. Is this an amazing pickup? To be honest with you, I mean, dual terminal copies are in short supply, and original first edition copies are nothing to really scoff at. You know, we gotta love Labyrinth of Nightmare being around for first editions, but this is one of those cards for like slightly higher rarity. If you really wanted its attack choice, get it, but it's gimmicky, I will say that. Next up here on our list is Alpha, the Master of Beast. Now, I've done a lot of talking about Alpha, and during the, was one of Japan's earliest events, where they had Albaz at its crazy power ceiling, we got to see Alpha be a card that could show up in the side deck and break apart the Mirror Jade boards that were really kind of present there. And I mean, honestly, a 3,000 monster you can pretty much special summon, bounce back to hand, re-special summon with a, you know, a smile on your face, ladies and gentlemen. It's pretty powerful, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this will depend on probably how the next ban list will shape up, because this card is mainly around as a preventative measure to kind of calm down the branded level shenanigans. And to be fair, the OCG's had 2 formats with this already, which is really amazing, actually, when you think about it, to do things. And here we are, you know, wrapping up so far behind. Next up on our list here is Dimensional Barrier. Now, this one should be a no-brainer. Doi. Alright, what better way to stop any of those extra deck shenanigans than with a trap card that says, no fun allowed. You know, it amazes me, ladies and gentlemen, that when you look at, you know, things like Diffusion, you look at things with Dimensional Barrier, a lot of people look at these and go, you know, I don't want to pick up the original copies, and that's fine, but, you know, the original vintage classic is going to be the one that you're really going to want to consider here. I mean, considering if you're picking up Albaz structure decks, this card comes included in the deck, so you don't even have to pick it up. It's like you get a free side deck card. when the card is literally a 20-cent common that you can have as a side deck option, I don't think you have an excuse not to get your hands on these, ladies and gentlemen. So do with that what you will here. Next up here, this is a rough one. It is the Brave package. Now, we're sitting in a very awkward position here as we are looking down the pipeline here, and we're going, ban this. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you guys. As much as we want to see Rite of Armies here, and we want to see Water Enchantress semi-limited here, I think it's time that you start making bets, ladies and gentlemen, because if this engine does not get hit on the next list, I think you're going to see prices fork up even higher. And depending on how a future landscape list can shape up here, well, you might want to pick these up sooner than later. If you're somebody out here that's looking at this list going, well, you know, I kind of want to pick up Brave Stuff, then you can pick up 2 of each. 2 of each puts you in like a good position until, you know, they go after Griffin Rider. But all things considered, I'm taking my own advice here, and I'm making sure that I have this engine for playability for the next couple of months. All right. Next up here is actually going to be HARPIE'S Featherstorm. Now, the reason why I say this is one of the other options later on in this video, Flunderies, actually is going to get a bigger slot here as a budget option. Now, taking that into consideration here, Tri-Brigade's kind of fallen off of the face of the planet. And honestly, all things considered at this point in time, you know, this card should probably get another reprint and say something from Ghost from the Past, hopefully, would be nice. But your lowest cheap copies on the market are going to run you $5. If you're somebody out here that's looking for the Mega Ryza reprint here as an option for you to get the chance to play Flunderies, I would make sure that I looked at HARPIE'S Featherstorm for that option of siding them to make sure I had them, and I would put this as a top priority, you know, next to that Mega Ryza to make sure that, of course, we had that good option tree available to us to be able to play the game. Next up here is actually Pendulum Fusion. Now, Valiant's in the OCG kind of never really took off on a crazy level, but I still want to include this card here because it gives you the ability to basically fusion summon via your pendulum scales. And the card only has 1 printing in this point in time, and I don't know, every time I look at this card, I'm like, you know, they're $4. I was like, this card has such a cool potential that it's kind of amazing. And, you know, all it takes is Triff making one video going, oh my god, guys, I busted Pendulum Fusion. But this is one of those cards I'd make sure I had 1 or 2 of laying around in case I kind of want to mess around with Valiant shenanigans or, you know, any of these other potentially fun decks that could be coming down the pipeline, because you never know what's going to happen in the world of Yu-Gi-Oh! All things considered, though, this card's actually really freaking cool for how it works fundamentally for, you know, the game. Next up here is actually going to be Imperial Customs. Now, this one is kind of a shoot in the dark here. And I found this one very interesting because having a card that kind of walks around in the format and gives your trap cards a continuous protection effect is kind of something interesting. You know, Eldritch players haven't really considered this as a side deck option, and maybe in like a smaller locals, this would be something I'd want to consider. I mean, flipping Skill Drain and then flipping this, and then laughing at your opponent going, haha, you can't out the Skill Drain because the Imperial Customs face up on the field. Cheapest playset of these is going to run you literally 15 cents a copy with shipping. All right, this is a fun little tech choice. It's nothing too crazy, ladies and gentlemen, but I will tell you, once again, that smile on your face as your opponent's just going, oh man, it brings joy to me knowing the cool little options that we can do in this game. Next up here is going to be Ghost Bell. Now, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. I know there's a reprint right around the corner for this in the Megatins. Guess what? You got 4 months until you're going to see that thing. Ghost Bell is one of the best cards in the format right now because it's got interaction points against Lubellion, because Lubellion can shuffle back from the graveyard. Oh, a hand trap that works in a format with some of the craziest interaction points in the game. Yeah, there's a reason why the first editions just got bought out. Do yourself a favor. Make sure you got a playset of Ghost Bells. Don't be caught, you know, crying in a corner because all of a sudden you can't afford these. This is the hand trap right now that is gaining, it's going to rotate back in pretty freaking fast, all things considered. So is this a 3M? I think it's a 2-up in a lot of situations. It's typically paired up with a lot of your other hand traps, which definitely gives it a little bit more of that oof. And then we have Flunderies as our last option here. Now, paired in with this, I kind of want to mention Dimension Shifter here. The Flunderies core, if you're a budget player, is the most inviting thing here. Mega Rise is up for the reprint. We just talked about HARPIE'S Featherstorms. Dimension Shifter is like $7. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a deck in modern era Yu-Gi-Oh! That can do all of this cool, crazy stuff. It does not surprise me whatsoever that you can just pick it up and have a good time and actually probably be successful at your locals. Will Journey cost money? That's fine. You know, you can pick those up depending on how things go. But slow and steady is our motto around here. So guys, what do you think about this top 10 list? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. And I will see your beautiful faces back here later on the day with some more cool Oz content. Peace out, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.